What's up, everybody? It's the Scene Snobs podcast, and I am your host, Mick Manhattan, aka your friendly neighborhood scene snob, and back again with another episode. But I gotta tell you, I'm a little disappointed. As you know, if you listen, I usually put the Scene Snobs podcast episodes out every Wednesday, but I delayed it to Friday this week, and that's because a little thing called Jeopardy Greatest of All Time was going on. Now, who's the big jerk in this scenario? I'm the big jerk. Because I misunderstood how they're doing it. So basically, if you don't know what's going on, Jeopardy is doing this greatest of all time um, tournament style. And they bring back, I can't remember his last name, but Brad, who was the winner who won the most amount of money overall. Ken Jennings, who won most consecutive days. And James Holzhauer, who won the most amount of money in a single game, and then went on to win, I think it was like the second or third most amount of money. So, like, these are the three best guys Jeopardy had to offer. And they brought them together for this tournament. So it's been airing every night at like 8 on ABC. And basically what they do is it's an hour long. They do 2 games. First half hour, they do their regular Jeopardy. Second half hour, they do another game, regular Jeopardy. Then they take the 2 combined totals of both those games, and whoever has the most won that night. And now where I took it was, I thought it was a best of 3 tournament. And it was exciting because the first night Ken Jennings won. Second night James Holzhauer won. And I'm like, well, they're going to have a tiebreaker if Brad wins tonight. But which, for Thursday, which I thought was the last night. So I was like, well, I'll just delay Scene Snobs podcast so I could talk about it because it's interesting. Nope, I got it wrong. So this thing goes on until somebody wins 3 games. So it's not best of 3. So next Tuesday, it starts right back up. And they're going to go again. So Ken Jennings is won again tonight, so he's up 2-1. 2-1 against James Holzhauer, and Brad has not won a game. So who knows how it's going to go? I think Ken Jennings probably going to take it ultimately. So we'll see what happens. But can't really get too in depth about it. But it's been pretty good so far. I've been wanting to watch it, especially with everything that's been going on with Alex Trebek, sad news with his pancreatic cancer coming back. And we wish him here well and, hopefully a recovery. But if not, we love you, Alex. So, wanted to watch the show and just kind of see how it would all play out. And I've been watching with the family and we've all been enjoying it. But I swear it was a best of 3. So I was like, oh, Ken won this. Ken won. Great. He's the best. He's the greatest of all time. Boom, they're like, nope, we'll be back next Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. And I was pissed. I was like, are you serious? I was like, they're going to keep this going? I was like, I delayed my podcast for this, so I don't want to get too in depth. I'll talk about it more, especially who I'm cheering for and things like that after it's over. Once it's over, I think it'll make for a more interesting topic to talk about. But that being said, this week was pretty sweet week so far because it was the first snowfall where I am, and we got a good amount. We got about 3 or 4 inches, and kind of locked us in for a couple of days there, which is always a fun time. And I don't know about the rest of you. I would love to hear it actually, but I had to watch The Thing. I had to watch John Carpenter's The Thing, of course, one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Can you tell that I love John Carpenter? But every time it snows, I have to watch it. And I know I'm not alone in that. There's hundreds of thousands of fans that I've met all over. I'm part of Outpost31.com, and the Outposters and I, we've gotten together before. We're all the same. Like, when it snows, you gotta watch it. We watch it at other points in the year, but because it's just that good of a movie. But we when it snows, you gotta watch it. And that's good. That goes back. That's tradition to high school, I think. So it got me thinking, what are some good movies to watch when you're snowed in? Like, really grasps you. And I wanted to think a little bit more off the wall. you know, because the thing is, like I said, it's very obvious. And I'm sure there's tons of like Shining. A lot of people watch Shining now. I don't gravitate towards that when it snows, but I can see why. And I probably, if I thought about it or it was traditional for me to watch when it snowed, I definitely understand it and I would. Now I'm probably going to next snowstorm. But we get I was thinking about some of the other things that came out, and one of them was Wind Chill, which was an early Emily Blunt movie, which was actually pretty cool. It deals kind of with like being trapped in your car on a road trip. It was this guy and this girl, Emily Blunt, of course, playing the female role. They take a road trip to go home for like, I think it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, I'm not sure. And they get trapped on the road, on the side of the road in a snowstorm. And like they are getting horribly mistreated by like this sadistic sheriff and like chased by priests. Like it's a very weird movie. And then like it's kind of like a ghost story. But it's a very cool snowstorm movie. I think it was one of my recommendations over Christmas. But if you don't, you could watch it in like a snowstorm setting, and I think you wouldn't miss it. There was another one called I See You, which was a Sylvester Stallone movie, and it was kind of like, weirdly enough, an amalgamation of these actors who were once like truly amazing. Like Tom Berenger was in the movie. Like they were A-list stars at one time, and this was a straight-to-video release. I think like 10 or 15 years ago. So, I mean, I found it at Hollywood Video when I worked there. So, like, that goes to show you how far back it goes. But yeah, it has Sylvester Stallone was a star, and they're like this group. I forget why they're there, but I want to say it's a rehab type center. And I want to say they were like cops or law enforcement or something that had to go here and like kind of go through this rehabilitation, and they start getting picked off. And it's like, who can you trust? It's a very Thing vibe. Now it's not as good, of course, but it was pretty rad little movie. So if you haven't seen it, I actually should check it out again. I want to watch it again. It's called I See You. So it kind of got me thinking about like what are good snowstorm type movies that make you feel it, and it doesn't have to be horror. Like for me, it goes to thriller and horror, especially with The Thing, but it could be anything really. So I put the question to you guys, like, what do you guys think? What are some good snowstorm movies? And yeah, think about it and message me or comment or whatever on anywhere, and just kind of let me know. Because I want to reach out and I want to see new things if I haven't seen them before and whatnot, and I think it would be good. So another cool thing about this week, we got the Hulk rights have now been bought back by Marvel. So Universal owned the rights to the Hulk. So basically what that said was, yes, Marvel could use them because Marvel also owned the rights, but it was a certain amount of rights. Like Universal owned the rights to do movies with the Hulk as a standalone movies with the Hulk, and Namor. They got Namor back, which would be cool to see him in the Marvel universe. It's very weird that I've never seen him like kind of adapted into a movie or TV realm, and now he's back too. So I think Marvel will probably make good use of him. But then so anyway, the Hulk comes back. So now Marvel owns all the rights to the Hulk. What does that mean? We can start getting standalone Marvel movies. Now, yes, of course, we got one, and that was working with Universal. And a lot of people say that Universal's hands being in it is why the Hulk wasn't as strong as most of the others. Now, I liked that Hulk. I liked the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. I think I'm kind of in a weird minority where I say I actually liked what's his name, Mark Ruffalo, better. I think he brought more of a like a friendliness to the Hulk, to the Bruce Banner character, and the Hulk ultimately, because you get Professor Hulk and such, and he brought more of like a you've got a buddy there type of vibe, in my opinion. And I always dug that. I always thought like he did that well. Like whereas with Edward Norton, it didn't kind of feel like that. It kind of felt like Edward Norton was just taking it too seriously. It always felt like Mark Ruffalo was like enjoying it and like not taking himself too seriously. You know, like yes, this character is a heavy character. Yes, this character is very tormented, but you know, he's also the Hulk. He's also the most powerful being on the planet. And you have this Jekyll and Hyde, of course, dynamic. And I thought he played it well. You know, I thought he played I'm finally just going to accept the Hulk well. Like he exists and that's it. And their team needs him and I'm going to be there. So, of course, I wouldn't say that. I don't know that I'd say that fully. I would say that he was still my favorite. But Thor Ragnarok is what locked that down. I thought he just did fantastic in both the Bruce Banner and Hulk roles in that movie. So I mean, direction is a big thing, and it would be cool to kind of see what Taika Waititi does with maybe just a standalone Hulk movie. Are we going to get a World War Hulk movie? That would be amazing. I would love to see that because now you have everybody, and you can play with the whole thing, and Spider-Man's there too. It's gonna be brilliant. So. With that being said, we got a New Mutants trailer that came out. And this movie, now, I'll admit, outside of X-Men, now I read a lot of comics as a kid, but when it came to the mutants, outside of X-Men and X-Force, I didn't read a lot. I didn't read the New Mutants. Like, I knew who they were. I'm very well-versed, like, especially in crossovers and things like that, but I wasn't religiously buying their comics. So going into this and seeing this, I was very I'm curious. I'm curious to see what's going on here. I don't know who each character is playing yet, and I need to do my research because I do know the characters. But I just watched the second trailer for it. I haven't seen the first trailer, I think, in almost a year because it wasn't supposed to come. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to come out in August. And then it got pushed back, so now it's coming out this year. And I remember it looking like a horror movie then, and now it really looks straight up like a horror movie. And I'm excited for it. It looks very cool. I want to see where it goes. I can't wait, actually. So if you haven't seen the second trailer for New Mutants, it looks really awesome. Even if you don't know anything about mutants or that world or that Marvel world, it's like completely out there. Like because I remember when The Gifted was out, which was a X-Men tie-in TV show. That's when they first started talking about New Mutants. Might have been season 2. I'm not sure. I remember seeing a trailer for it around that time, and I was like, "Are these kind of the same thing? Like, what's the deal here?" Again, wasn't really sure. I didn't watch The Gifted. I heard good things though. And then seeing this trailer really locked me in. Everybody looks great in it. It's got a ton of people in it. I think what's her name, Maisie Williams, I want to say, from Game of Thrones. Her name is eluding me. And what's his name? The brother from Stranger Things is in there. And a few other people. Like, it just looks really cool. And if you haven't checked out the trailer, I would. We got a trailer for Lock and Key, which is a new... we got a trailer for Lock and Key and October Faction, which are Netflix shows coming out based on graphic novels. Now, I have not read either graphic novel. I want to now. Just based off of these trailers, I want to go out and get the graphic novels and read them, and I think I will. Lock and Key looks very interesting. It looks like it's a family, 3 kids, move into this house after their dad dies. It's where their dad grew up. He left it to him, I guess. And they start finding keys all over the place. And, like, they start seeing, like, there's different insignias on the keys. And they match up to the locks that have the same insignia. And they kind of go around and open the doors. And it's just opens them up to all new weird worlds and things like that. And looks very funky, but looks really intriguing. And there's supposedly some evil that they unleash at some point that was locked away. And I guess that was kind of the whole point of the house. So let's just see what it's about. It looks pretty awesome, though. I can't tell you much in the way of the plot. Haven't seen much from the trailer. Other than that, they find the keys and they unlock things. But man, it was an insane movie. Like it was awesome. October Faction looks like it's a married couple who hunt monsters. And they keep mentioning hating October, so I'm guessing October is a big deal in this, and we'll find out. Again, I never read the graphic novel, so I don't know. I want to go out and read it. It looks pretty cool. So they're a married couple. They go out, they hunt monsters. Their kids, I guess, know what they do. And their kids kind of get with their friends, into a weird situation with these monsters. And they kind of join in the fold of helping. So, very interesting, cool little look. Then I got, there was another trailer for a movie called Bigfoot. Bigfoot. I'm in. There's a movie about Bigfoot. I'm there. I'm all in. And this one has Brian Thompson in it. Now, if you don't know Brian Thompson was the villain in Cobra. He was he was also in Terminator. His clothes are the ones that got stolen in the first Terminator. He's been in Buffy. He's played the big bad in a bunch of Buffy episodes. Go look up Brian Thompson. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. And I remember because I love Cobra, and he was at a Chiller Theater convention in 2001 maybe. It was a long time ago, and he was there, and we met him, and he was just super cool. And I remember when we went, like, I think he charged us $5 for an autograph, which back then it was what everybody was charging. They didn't even care. And it was like, you pay him $5 and they'll give you as many autographs as you wanted. You can sit there and talk. Like, it was just really into it. I miss the conventions of back in the day. Because now you go, and you got celebrities there, and it's like $50, $50 for an autograph, $80 if you want a picture done with an autograph or something that you want autograph. Like, it's ridiculous, and it's infuriating at times. And I honestly, at this point, like, I'll go out and I'll meet people and interview or do things with them, or so my experience is a little different. But I don't buy autographs anymore. I got past that. Like, I got tired of doing autographs. I did get, recently I met Matthew Modine back in November. And he was doing it for free. He was just glad people were, and it wasn't a convention. It was for a Matthew Modine event. They were showing 10 of his movies, and he was just very humble about it, very sweet, just kind of like, oh, you want my autograph? Well, yeah, I appreciate that. Here you go. So I'm not saying that a celebrity shouldn't collect, because I get it. You're there, make a little extra money. There's nothing wrong with that. But I remember there was another convention. It was Horrifying Weekend, and that was back in like 2003, I think. I met Julie Benz, who played Darla in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I played Rita in Dexter, and many, many, many other appearances on TV and in the movies. Amazing actress. I love her. She was just sitting there, and I was a big Buffy fan, so I was like, oh my God, Darla, what's up? Like, can I get your autograph? And she goes, yeah, of course. And, if you want to take a picture. And back then it was with a winding disposable camera. She was like, if you want to take a picture, that'd be great too. She goes, all I ask is that maybe you donate what you feel comfortable with. And she told me about the charity she was collecting for. So I was like, here's $20. Like, please, absolutely. It's super sweet of, she was offering. You didn't even have to give, but she was like, would you please donate to that? I was like, yeah, that was so awesome. Like, and that was the only celebrity in any convention I've been to that I found was like collecting for a charity. And I thought that was great. So that was another great encounter with that. But like, I miss those old days in the conventions because they seemed a lot more intimate too. Like, when you met with the actors, you got to ask them questions and talk to them, and it didn't feel like the line was out the door. Maybe some celebrities, yeah, but like, you got to ask questions about stuff. So like, when I say intimate, of course, I mean like you got to nothing sexual or stupid like that, but just a really sweet time. Like, you got to know this actor a little bit better. And I always love those. But, gone are those days, man. Every convention I go to now, it's kind of like, hey, give me the money. Okay, let's take a picture. Let's get the autograph, step aside. And it's like, I don't want to do that. No, and I'm fortunate enough, like, where, I'm friends with a lot of people, and, like, again, it's more about, talking to them or getting interviews or whatever else, where I become more friendly with these people. And, that's where I stick to, and that's just because some of them I've worked with when I was working in the entertainment industry and things like that. And that's not a gloat. That's just saying that's where I'm at. But I don't do autographs. I would love it. I would love autographs, but I can't do them anymore. I was like, they're too expensive, and it just seems like it's getting greedier and greedier with the pricing. And I think if you have a line out the door and you are that popular, you shouldn't be asking for that much. That's not what it's about. Like, you make bank at these conventions, and I just think it's, ask for $20 for an autograph. Okay, 25 if they want a picture too. The picture is not a big deal, but I don't know. That's just me. And maybe if you guys disagree, let me know. I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear what you think. We also got a new episode of the movie Schitt's Creek, the TV show Schitt's Creek. I don't know if you guys are on the show. It's one of my favorites. It's been fantastic the whole way through. It's one of the funniest shows on TV. And Dan Levy created it, of course. Eugene Levy. Everybody is, Catherine O'Hara. Everybody's just fantastic in it. Like, the whole cast. And not just the main cast, all side characters. Everybody's just freaking great in the show. And they came back for their 6th and final season. They had the first episode. So I definitely say, if you haven't watched it yet, binge it on, I think it's on Netflix. But definitely check it out. It came back strong with a really good season opener. Finally, I'm going to do a full video review on Dracula, which is the new Netflix series. Well, it's BBC produced it, and it was created by Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss. Mark Gatiss, Stephen Moffat have created Sherlock. Steve Moffat was the showrunner of Doctor Who, the seasons with Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi. And before that, he was a writer when Russell T Davies was the showrunner for David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston. So, like, they've been around for a long time. They've been doing great work. So I was really excited when this Dracula show came out. It ended very weird. I don't know if it's a limited show or not. I'm not going to ruin it. Like, it's going to be, my review of it will be more filled with spoilers, but I'm anxious to see what a lot of you guys thought, and if you've watched it yet. But it takes a very peculiar turn after the second episode. It's only 3 episodes. Only 3 1 hour and 30-minute episodes, which is a format that they're very used to, especially with Sherlock and things like that. So it was very weird turn. I don't know if I liked it. I want to say I didn't love it. I kind of loved how it started, and I'm kind of at the point with the end where I'm like, kind of wish you did that better. But like I said, I'll get more in depth with it when it comes down to it for my video review. But I would love to hear what you guys think. It is out though. It came out last Friday, I think. So it's on Netflix. Go check it out, and let me know what you guys think. We got. I saw Jojo Rabbit finally. Jojo Rabbit. It's one of the best movies of last year. I don't know how it wasn't nominated for more in the Golden Globes. Taika Waititi did an amazing job. And it's just, if you don't know what it is, it's this beautiful story. And we go more in depth reviewing it because I watched it with Mrs. Scene Snob. We're going to talk about it more on A Marriage Like That podcast. So she and I will probably be more in depth review there. But I'm going to talk about it. It's a young boy. He's a 10-year-old boy and he's one of the Hitler Youth during World War II, and it follows like this whole, like, I guess like 6 months of his life, kind of going through. And his mother's played by Scarlett Johansson. The guy who Sam Rockwell plays like the soldier who runs the program. Rebel Wilson plays a nurse in it, a Nazi nurse. Like it's very funny. The whole thing is very funny, but also like hits you hard. They really do the drama, and it's a truly beautifully written and beautifully told story. And one of the aspects that I thought were really good, Taika Waititi plays Hitler in the movie, but he's not Hitler. He is Jojo Rabbit's imaginary friend version of Hitler. And what that is like, so it's Hitler as a 10-year-old boy sees him. A 10-year-old Nazi youth boy sees him. So you have him like kind of like kicking things and like throwing little fits, and in the beginning he's like very supportive of Jojo, but like you see as Jojo goes on and kind of sees what war is really all about and the darkness that it causes, and he's starting to see Hitler for who he actually is and like coming to terms with those things. You see Hitler changing, and it's a beautiful change throughout the whole thing. But the whole premise of the story is his mother, Jojo Rabbit's mother, is hiding a Jewish girl in their attic. So he finds her one day, and he becomes friends with her. At first, it's like, I want to turn her in, but I don't want my mother to be in trouble. So he kind of befriends her from having to like try and protect his house from her. So it's a very sweet and beautiful story, but it's also very heart-wrenching and heartbreaking. So be prepared when you walk in. When I walked in, I was not expecting the movie I saw. And after I saw it, I was like, this is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. So, I was, having seen that, I was, the little boy, his name escapes me at the moment, who played Jojo Rabbit, was nominated for Best Actor Award at the Golden Globes. And that was, I mean, I'm glad Joaquin Phoenix won, but, because he did a great performance, but so did this kid. And I have no doubt that he'll be nominated again someday. If he stays on the path of acting, he did just a beautiful job. And great use of music in this, because they play the Beatles in the beginning, and it matches up nicely. I mean, this is 1944 Germany. So, and they're playing the Beatles, and they're playing Bowie, and it's a really, really well put together movie. And Taika Waititi is just a brilliant director. With that, I kind of talk a little bit about the Golden Globes. Well, a lot of stuff going on with the Golden Globes, and I don't want to get too bogged down in all the stuff that came out, like, with the Ricky Gervais stuff and things like that. Like, he's a comedian, he told jokes, he was funny. I don't know why he needs to be any darker than that, I don't know if it's left, right, or the other. All I know is he was really funny on night, and he was honest, and, I think that's a good thing. Calling everybody on their BS is like a comedian's, that's you got to do that, and he did it in such a terrific, funny way. No, I don't want to talk about that, because like, as much as that was true and awesome within itself, there were some other things that I thought should have been shining through, but didn't, because of all this stuff. And I feel like that's what gets lost in it. Like Tom Hanks winning a Lifetime Achievement Award. When I hear Tom Hanks is winning a Lifetime Achievement Award, I'm like, really? How old is he? Like, I mean, I know he's older, but how long? He's been around so long. When they were doing his clip, his clip package, I was like, man, Tom Hanks has been there throughout my entire life. Tom Hanks' career started and is still going through my entire life. It started at the beginning for me, and is still continuing, of course. And I've seen every one of his movies. I've seen even He Knows You're Not Alone, like his first one. And watching this clips package, I'm just like, all right, here, this guy built this beautiful career from comedies to poignant films to like he's starred in everything. Like I was just thinking about how many people he starred with too, because I'm like, how many people do you have to thank? Like, look how many people, how many stars, how many people were stars over him in some movies. Like he wasn't the main star, and now he's probably the biggest actor in Hollywood, and you don't see a lot of these people. Like Gina Davis. Like Gina Davis, you do see. She shows up and stuff, but she's not the star she once was. And she was the star of A League of Their Own. She drove that vehicle. He wasn't this huge star before then. That was before most of the big stuff that came later on. He was a star of movies, so like he was a top billed actor in it, but she was the star of the movie, and she was the driving force of it. And I think she was coming off Thelma and Louise with that. So he wasn't coming off Forrest with that. He wasn't coming off Philadelphia with that. He got those afterwards, and he just did an amazing job with it. And watching stuff like that and kind of reliving his career, and I'm like, he's done so much. Like you forget some of the stuff that he's in, and note that stuff is like truly amazing stuff. It's like amazing movies that you're like, I forgot he was in that because I'm not even thinking about that movie at this moment. And then you get to it and he goes up, and just to see him like kind of tear up and cry, you're like, even yourself, you're like, oh, this one hits you in the heart a little bit. That was crazy. But it was just a beautiful time, and I felt like that needed to be shared. Like, like his whole span, his whole career, like this really is a beautiful lifetime achievement that he deserved the Cecil B. DeMille Award. Like when I think the Cecil B. DeMille Award, I think a lot of other people who deserve it. Like I don't even know if they have it. But like Martin Scorsese was sitting in a room, Robert De Niro was sitting in a room. He started in the early 70s, 60s really. Joe Pesci, all these guys who started way before Tom Hanks. Now, I don't know if they all have it, or I don't know who has it and who doesn't have it, or this, that, the other thing. Al Pacino was there. I think Al Pacino might have it, I'm not sure. But then they say Tom Hanks, and I'm like, yeah, but you forgot how prolific his career actually is. And that hit me, and I just felt like there was so much going on with this whole controversy of Ricky Gervais. And here I wanted to mention that. And I wanted to mention Ellen DeGeneres, too, who, as a comedian, if you follow comedians like I do, she, people will chalk her up to a talk show host, which is amazing within itself. I remember her as a comedian coming up, like in the 80s and 90s, and like, I don't want to say coming up like I was there from the beginning. Like, I remember she was one of those big comedians back then, like the Seinfelds and things like that, and Ray Romano's and stuff like that. All those people, Tim Allen, they were all coming at that point. And I remember she was one of them, and she was out there, and she was making a name for herself. And then she got her shows. Like, she got one show, and then that went away. Then she got Ellen was the name of the show, Ellen. And that went forward, and it was a big show. It was a popular show. I think it was like 3 or 4 seasons when they canned it because she came out. Like that, and I remember when she came out, how controversial that was. Like, it's crazy to think, like, in 2019 where we're at, and I'm so happy this is where we're at in society compared to 1999, just that being gay was so taboo back then. You couldn't talk about it on TV, or you couldn't be a gay celebrity without like being shunned or blacklisted in almost a way. And I remember she went away for a while. I was like, you had this hit TV show, came out as gay, and then just went away. They took your TV show away, and like it was heartbreaking, in so many ways. And I can't even imagine what she went through. But I was like, she's like a really funny comedian, and then she had this hit TV show. But you're watching, like, on the same channel, you're watching, like, Tim Allen, he's doing the same thing. And it's like, his show's not going to get taken away for what he says, like, or who he is. Now it might, I think, did that happen to him with this last show or this current show that he has, Last Man Standing? So weird how that kind of works out, how times have changed. But to see her go away was kind of heartbreaking. So I remember when her talk show came out, I was like, wow, where's she been? Because like it was a while. She was not in the spotlight. You didn't see her. And I assume that she, had to deal with, fallout from all of that, and it was courageous what she did. And it's sad to think that she had to deal with any type of fallout or what they did to her. And it's disgusting. But now she has this, probably one of the most popular talk shows of all time. And it's funny because I think there was a clip in her clips where she's talking to Oprah. Now, I know Oprah is one of the richest people in the world. But when I think about talk show hosts, and I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, isn't Ellen a little bit more prolific of a talk show host over Oprah? I know Oprah's been there for a lot of things, and maybe I'm wrong, because I don't remember Oprah, the beginning of Oprah's. I remember she was on TV, she was talked about. She was like on the 4 o'clock spot on ABC. She was on after General Hospital. I remember that. But I never watched Oprah, so I didn't know. I saw, like, for me, I'm like, it seems like Ellen is a little more prolific of a talk show host. It seems like she gets a lot more done through it and stuff like that. So when Oprah was, like, talking to her, I was just like, Oprah, like, maybe you're, like, second fiddle to her. Like, and I don't, I wasn't trying to start, I'm not trying to start any type of argument over that, or put Oprah down, like, what she does. I mean, she owns her own network and stuff like that. So, but talk show host-wise, it's like, she was interviewing Ellen as like, you're on that level now. And it's like, I think she's on a little bit higher of a talk show level than you, Oprah. But that's just me. Yeah. But it was really cool to see her get her award too. And she accepted it. And she was a true comedian through it. And funny, didn't punch down, told her jokes, accepted her award. And it was just kind of a beautiful moment. And, I just wanted to mention those things. There's some weird things that happen in there too that we're getting talked about. But, like with all the controversy and stuff like that, again, I just thought like maybe it should be mentioned. I got like 8 out of 22 picks or something like that. I did not do well in my picks. But maybe hopefully I'll do better for the Academy Awards, when they come out. But I will tell you what, I am cheering for Jojo Rabbit for the Academy Awards. I have not seen 1917 yet, though, so that was the big winner, and maybe I'll change my tune, because that does look really good, and I love Sam Mendes, so. And Roger Deakins, as cheated as he's been as a cinematographer with the Cinematography Academy Awards, he's won, I think, 1 or 2 now, but go back, look at all of the movies Roger Deakins was nominated for a Best Cinematography Award and which ones he's lost with. And your mind will be boggled. And you can go back and you can look at who did win, and they made beautiful movies. But they did not make Roger Deakins movies. I mean, the first one he was nominated for that he lost was Shawshank Redemption. That goes to tell you something, because that is an amazing looking film. With that being said, that's just kind of what is going on this week. And I'm not going to draw it out too much because, again, I was going to do a full review on here of Dracula, but I think because I want to get more spoilish, I didn't want to do it on here. So I will have that out sometime this weekend is my review of that. And I'm also watching The Witcher right now, so we'll see how that goes. It started out pretty strong, so I'm only on the first episode, so I'll see how it goes. With everything else, and I'll get back to you on Jeopardy. So it's a pretty light week this week. I have a lot of things coming up, though. We have some interviews coming up, new shows coming up. We're going to have panel for Royal Rumble on a 20-minute wrestling podcast. We have some reviews going on. With the Scene Snob, we're going to be doing a new show, which will be fun, where we review a movie, and how it kind of works out is we'll pick our names out of a hat. Whoever gets picked gets to pick the movie. But we also have to choose what kind of movie and Well, no, basically just what kind of movie. But it's not going to be a genre choice. It's going to be like 0% on Rotten Tomatoes movie, um, quirky movies, things like that. So it's going to be kind of out there, and we're going to do some things we've never seen, like movies one of us may never seen, type of situation. So look out for that. That should be coming very soon, and we'll be getting down to that. We have plenty of other stuff. Go on to thescenesnobs.com. We have tons of podcast videos on there, so go check them out. Also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at the Scene Snob. And if you go on the Scene Snobs page on Facebook, give us a like. You can message us there or anywhere else. Here on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, go check us out. We're on, give us a like and subscribe on there. And also give us a like and subscribe on SoundCloud or Spotify, whichever one you choose. We're on both. And that's about it. I know it's a lot, but please let us know and comment and let us know what you guys think going forward. Next week should be a pretty full week. Got a lot of stuff going on. Well, that's about it. So for now, it's getting a little late and I'm a little tired and I still have to watch a few other things. So have a good night, everybody. I miss you. I love you. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye.